there's a lot of activity going on in the Audi garage, which is sort of the more than usual variety. Something's just been put into the cockpit there. Limited number of people working on the car. You can clean the screen, but you can't do a great deal else. If you want to work on the car, you need to get it into the garage.
Away then goes Lotte Duval. Okay, so that car has done a lap further on a tank of fuel than an e-tron Quattro. What does that prove? As you see the replay of the Audi coming in and the car ahead leaving, the Nissan-powered car leaving from LMP2. If you take that one extra lap of a stint and work it out over 24 hours, the car will certainly be able to do one less pit stop, and therefore the diesels, I would suggest you, have an advantage because they're going to be able to do this on one pit stop fewer than the e-tron Quattros.
Yes, that's right, and you would have also said that if you were Audi, you would have liked to see your newer car looking as though it would do better over the long term of the race than the diesel car. You would have expected that to happen. While we watch the GT battle go past us, here we are on board with 22 with David Brabham here as he comes up, and he's now clear of the trouble he was having with Sebastian Bourdais, while Dr. Ulrich, Audi team boss, considers all his options and has a good look at the weather.
David Brabham has just come down the pit lane, in fact.
Followed by Bertrand Baguette, who has been his chaser throughout this opening stint.
Indeed so. And you're riding on board with Alan McNish. Now the race order is number 1 back into the lead. Andre Lotterer ahead of Lotte Duval. McNish third, Wurz fourth, Sarrazin fifth. Brabham was 6th. Baguette was 7th. They've now pitted, so that means that Nick Heidfeld will go into the top 6, having stopped earlier on.
And indeed, he goes past our commentary position just to reinforce your point. Lot of blue and orange coloured cars you may have noted in this race. That's because Gulf Middle East has a 2-car team in LMP2, and there's a rather cheerful message there on the side of the cockpit for the LMP1 car currently being driven by Baguette. And of course Aston Martin, the factory team, their 2 GT cars are both also in these same famous blue, pale blue and orange Gulf colours, and that's therefore a lot of exposure for one of the most
iconic?
I was trying to avoid it, but one of the most distinguished names in motorsport sponsorship, the Gulf branding.
Very hesitant rejoin from Baguette down the pit lane, wasn't it? The car sort of stumbled a bit.
This is a great section of the track here where we are on board now. Sweeping round the slightly banked corner at Indianapolis, up to the newly reshaped right-hander at Arnage, one of the slowest parts of the circuit, where we will see lots of people make errors and stumble off the track in the middle of the night. And as they accelerate away now, off up towards the whole section that becomes known as the Porsche curves. A lot of smoke and drama coming out of the bottom of the 49 LMP2 car, which is the Picon racing car of the Luis Perez Compact, Zoe Larari and Pierre Caffa. Caffa himself, of course, a former Audi factory driver, as there are a number of former factory Audi drivers in the field.
Sohail Ayari, a former Pescarolo driver, someone that Henri has never forgiven for the abuse he gave the car and the possibility of him chucking away a win when it was really down to Henri Pescarolo to take the fight to Audi. But Ayari had the car bouncing off curbs and tyres, and Henri, maybe unfairly, has never forgiven him for that. So at the end of the lap, you're riding on board with Andre Lotterer, the winning team of last year. Lotterer, Marcel Fassler, Benoit Treluet, and this is the car, the e-tron Quattro, back into the lead of the race. It's the Audi hybrid, effectively.